Hi, I am Desiree Lee, and I'm here to help you see beyond the limits of your circumstances. And I do this by sharing my experience as a best-selling author and also a self-publishing consultant. Watch every second of this video, and if you do, you will learn the top 5 things that self-published authors forget to include in their books. Okay guys, so I have 2 different types of formats of my book available. I have the paperback version of my book, and I also have the hardback copy of my book. And one of the things that self-published authors forget to include in their book more times than not is their social media handles or their contact information on the back of their books. The reason being is that a lot of readers, they tend to look at the summary of your book to see if it's relatable to them, if they're interested in reading the story and or the instructional material that you have inside of the book. Some readers end up buying your book, and some readers end up just copying your information. This is very important to have all of your social media handles the same, which makes it easier for readers to find you. Another thing is, if this is an inspirational story, or if you're looking to have speaking engagements, especially corporate events, you never know who purchases your book. All right, so with that being said, if you have that mindset that I don't know whose hand this book is going to touch, that after they read the book, they want to get in contact with you. So you have to make it a little bit easier for people to find you, or they'll try to find you and then they can, and then they give up, right? And so we lean on social media so much these days that it is important to include your social media handles in the book. Now, while we are here on the back of this book here, don't forget to also include book reviews. Now, if this is your first book and you don't have book reviews from Amazon to include on the back cover of your book, then what you will do is either get a friend, family member, a colleague, a professional, someone who you admire, a mentor, to read excerpts out of your book and to leave a review. And once they leave a review and share their experience with your story or your instructional material, make sure you include their review on the back of your book. The reason why you want to do this is because it's just like a movie. Have you guys ever seen like the movie trailers where they say, Times Magazine said this about this movie, this magazine said this, gave this movie 5 stars, and so forth and so forth? Well, we know that social proof is important to marketing and selling your book. And this is the second thing that a lot of self-published authors forget to include in their books. It's just their summary and about the author. Well, how do I contact you? Or what are other people saying about you too as well? So don't forget those 2 important things on the back of your book. So the next tip that I want to share with you guys in regards of what to include in your book is also the topics of your speaking engagements. You want to make sure that you include those in your book. Or if this is your second book, maybe you're not a first-time publisher or a first-time author, you want to include the other books that you have written and where they are published. This helps you sell a lot of books, and also it helps you get more speaking engagements too as well. Now, I understand under the circumstances that we're in now in regards to the coronavirus and COVID-19, not a lot of people are having the group gatherings such as conferences or speaking engagements, or at churches, church buildings, and workshops in person or live workshops too as well. However, they didn't stop those meetings or those events, they just brought them online. So you may see events as you can be the expert in a telesummit or a online conference too as well, where they do Zoom meetings and different things like that. So you want a reader who is reading your book not to guess where to place you in the next event or online event. you want to give them points or topics of discussion of what you are an expert in. You wrote a book, you publish a book, you are an expert. What kind of topics can you bring out of your story or bring out of your instructional material that will serve as one of your talking points in a speech or a telesummit or a teleconference? If you do not want to put the points of topics of your presentations in the front of the book, you can also include the other previous books that you may have published to get the reader to not just purchase one book, but they purchase another book in your series. Even if it's a fantasy novel, this is definitely perfect because you can definitely put the sequels of the books of maybe they got the second series or the second edition of it. The second volume of the book. So you definitely want to make sure that you include those things in the front of your book, okay? Also, too, what a lot of self-published authors forget to include in their book, I know you guys are excited about publishing, but you have to look at this as a business because publishing is just not enough. I had to find out this the hard way, but just like there's a famous quote that a wise man learns from other people's mistakes, but a fool learns from their own. And so I'm happy to share my experiences as a best-selling author and also a self-publishing consultant with you so that you don't have to make these same mistakes. Which brings me to number 4. Inside where your copyright, I don't know if you guys can see this, but inside of your copyright, where your copyright information is, you also want to put in there where people can order a bulk order of your books, all right? Because a lot of self-published authors, we tend to think one book, one person. But again, if you are a self-published author, you have to think like a traditional publishing company where it's marketing and distribution, and your ultimate goal is how can I get this book in as many hands as possible? So you want to share on where, if they want to buy 10 books, do they get a discount? Is it cheaper than purchasing it from a bulk order from Amazon.com? Or can I just contact you directly to get a box of 25 books, right? So if you're a self-published author, you know your price of production is anywhere between $2 to $3.50 per book. So you can definitely cut down that cost if a person, a company or community or a business is purchasing 25 copies of your book at one time. And you can do that where you can put the order information there, and also again you want to make sure that you add your contact information as well. All right, which brings me down to number 5. This is like so important for all self-published authors to know. At the end of your book, what do you include at the end of your book? So at the end of your book, you definitely want to include an upsell. So you can put a social media flyer, you can put an ad there too as well. So there's so many different things that you can include on that ad at the end of the book. You can say, hey, thank you so much for reaching the end of the book, right? Don't forget to leave an Amazon book review. I can tell you guys, out of how many books that I've sold, there is a percentage of readers who have left an Amazon book review. So you kind of want to bring that reminder back to them to don't forget to leave an Amazon book review. Why? Because that helps you inside of the algorithm. It helps you get noticed amongst all the other competition in your industry or in your book genre too as well. Also, you can definitely put in there if you have a workshop or an email list, or you have a special live stream broadcast if you're a live stream influencer, to follow your page so that you can increase your views on your videos. Also, again, you can also put your social media there too as well. You can put a thank you, and you can also put bonuses. So if you have a video or steps or training or tutorials that you can tell them if they sign up, they get this training or they get this course too as well for a discounted price. And you can put a special promo code in the back of the book, and then that way you will know that the people who have bought this certain course, the people who have signed up for this particular email list, the people who are following you on live stream, they're using this specific promo code. They're coming from your books, which then encourages you to publish more books because you're understanding that, hey, this warm lead is coming from somebody who bought my book for $14.95, which is in marketing or in business, they call that a tripwire, to lead in to get free tutorials or a course training or even a paid training. Or if you have a membership, you have a book club, you have a special offer. I mean, so many different ideas that you can put inside at the back of your book outside of just the About the Author page. Also, you can put a flyer of your next book that you already have, or a previous book that you've already published. It's very important that you include these 5 things inside of your book, because you're not thinking as a self-published author anymore, but you're thinking like an author in business. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you guys give this a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel at D. Lee Inspires. You can follow me on all social media at D. Lee Inspires. I would love to hear from you. And if you have any other tips or anything that I probably forgot to include inside the book, make sure you put that in the comments below. Also, let me know the title of your book. I would love to support you. That's what our membership group is about, because we move together as one.